Are you thinking about selling your Denver home, but not sure if it's truly ready? Here's the reality. Most homeowners list their properties too early and end up paying for it with reduced offers, extended market time, and unnecessary stress during the selling process. If you're new here, I'm Landon Smith, a local real estate agent here in Denver. And having helped hundreds of Denver families sell their homes over the past decade, I've identified 6 essential readiness tests that separate successful sales from costly mistakes. In this video, I'll share exactly what these tests are and how to pass each one so that you can maximize your sales price and minimize your headaches. Let's dive into the first test that could save you thousands. So the first step is to make sure that you've created a strategic plan with your listing agent to make sure that your home is prepped for sale. And we're going by the numbers. Most strategic home improvements provide 200 to 300% returns on investment when they're done correctly and on trend. And it's so important to do that. I've seen so many people that I've talked to make mistake after mistake where they actually spend money. We're talking about tens of thousands of dollars for their house to be turned into the wrong color or for the money to be put into the wrong place. And so it's really important that you go over that plan with a realtor who's educated enough to tell you from experience and from the numbers. I get my numbers from the National Association of Home Builders that reports every year on what the return investment is for projects that are done within the home. And it's incredible to see the dichotomy between the ones that really hit and that are very worthwhile for you as a homeowner and the ones that really aren't. Like, this is a matter of really being strategic, doing your research, talking to the right professional and the right contractors so that you can have a great experience. Also, speaking of contractors are way less busy and offer way better pricing during off-peak seasons, okay? They don't want to work with you as much during March, April, May, because those are their busy seasons where they're pulling their hair out, and they tell you with their bids, with their estimates, how much they actually want to work with you, right? If you get 7 bids on concrete or on paint, you may get completely opposite reviews. I mean, I've seen a paint bid come in at $5,000 and then another paint bid come in at $24,000 on the interior of a home, like a normal size home. So you just never know, right, exactly how much someone wants to work with you until you get their estimate. Then you can see, okay, this contractor has good systems, good setup, and they actually want to work with me. Also, when you plan early, you have time to get multiple bids. Most people, they wait till the last second and then they just go with the first person that has availability, even though they may be twice as expensive as the other person. Also, many of the improvements that a lot of homeowners think are necessary actually provide a terrible ROI. Let's talk about some of those. Okay, some of the ROIs that are really poor are furnaces, ACs, water heaters, roofs, windows. The list goes on. Anything mechanical, electrical, plumbing related inside your home. Sometimes it's necessary. Sometimes you have to do it, right? But those things a lot of times are better to be reactionary on rather than being proactive on. And so that's something that you have to have caution with, because if you're only going to get 15% return, which is about what you get for all of those items, you're not going to have, money coming back in your pocket. So if you have to do it to get a sale done, then absolutely do it. But most of the time, those are not items that you want to do up front unless it's a glaring thing that's going on, or if you know the problem, then you got to fix it. But otherwise, I would be reactionary with aging components and wait and see what's important to the buyers. If it's important to the buyers, they're going to ask for it. But they may have a long list of other things that they want to ask for before that, because each buyer is different. Each buyer has their own set of priorities. I had inspection reports where I look back and I'm like, are you serious? Like, I read through the whole report. There was like 19 issues that I would have maybe asked for, and they only asked for these 4 things that were really important to them. So you just never know what a buyer's going to ask for, and it's a negotiation. So you don't want to put yourself out there on things that are not going to give you a great return. Instead, focus on paint, focus on flooring, focus on countertops, focus on painting cabinets, focus on lighting, focus on door hardware. Those are all things that will give you a great return on your investment. Another one is refinishing hardwood floors and painting those light, because everybody likes that light and bright look. Also, just a plug for our podcast. Make sure you watch the Real Estate Huddle to check out the latest that we did with the Home Show Awards, where we talk about all of the best flooring for the year, best paint of 2025, best counters of 2025, so that you can see the specifics that are selling the best in this market that we shared on that podcast. That'll be a great resource for you as well, and I can link that below. Also, I feel like one of the most valuable things that I do when I do a walkthrough with a homeowner is I make sure to provide an as-is market analysis, and then as I'm walking through the home, I'm making adjustments, saying, if you do this, this is how much more you can get out of your home. And I've followed a lot of appraisers around, so I know what kind of adjustments they make on these homes that determines market value. So if you're in that position and you're thinking, man, we'd love to know what we could sell for with what we have, I'll be very upfront and honest with you. You know, whether we sell your home at this price or this price, I'm okay with both options. It's just a matter of there's always a price for every home in any condition, right? And so if we want to maximize your price, we got to do a few things typically to make it look great so that the market is looking at the condition of your home and getting emotional about it. If there's emotional appeal, buyers buy on emotion. And so that's a huge thing that we want to create in your house in order to incentivize offers and incentivize competition, in the marketplace. So now that you understand the importance of having a plan, the second test focuses on timing and equity. So the second step is, how long have you lived in your home before you're ready to sell your home? And why this matters is because selling costs typically range anywhere from 6%, upfront typically, but then you've got moving costs involved. You've got to plan to make all that happen. And sometimes that can be between 6 and 10% of the sale price in Denver. And so you got to think this way, right? If homeowners need, around 10% in equity, usually that's at least 3 years in your home lately for your home to actually be worth enough for you to be able to sell it and break even. And so, I always coach people through like 3 to 5 years. That's usually your time frame. You want to make sure that you're committed to an area if you're going to buy a house. And if you're not committed to an area for that much time, then you may want to consider renting still until you buy, right? And we talked about this on my other video about, your test to see if you're ready to buy. But on the sell side, I want to make sure that we have enough equity in the home so that you can sell it, because otherwise it would be a short sale situation. And on a short sale, you have to ask the bank, your mortgage partner, to take a loss on the sale. And oftentimes they're not willing to do that unless you have some kind of a hardship where either a divorce qualifies, a job taking you away from this area that takes you to another part of the country. And there are others as well, right? It could be extreme medical bills. It could be a lot of things that could qualify as a hardship to qualify for a short sale. And we used to do these all the time during the Great Recession. They don't happen very often anymore because a lot of people have a good amount of equity built in their home, especially if you owned a home through 2020 and 2021, where we had just enormous runaway pricing during the pandemic. During that time, a lot of people just really stacked up on their equity, where we grew 15% in 2020 and 18% in home values on average in the Denver area in 2021. But it's the people that bought from 2022 to now that need to really take a look at this and see like, okay, have I really been in my home long enough where I can make this move successful? And for some of you, you may have a need that is so pressing that you just want to break even and just get out of it, right? And so if you bought in 2022, maybe 2023, you might be there with the 2 to 3% that we've seen over the last 3 years in a row, especially depending on, obviously how much you put down on your house. But really, you don't want to lose money by owning a home. You want to make money. And that's typically what happens over time as you've looked at the last, 50, 80 years in the real estate market. Home values have gone like this, but it's been a gradual climb upward as far as what you're able to get for your home over time. And so Denver's appreciation rates vary significantly by neighborhood and property type. So if you're in a condo or townhome, it could be more difficult. We've actually lost value on those in the last 12 months. If you're in single family homes, chances are you got a better chance of getting out of it if you've been in your home for a short period of time. Assuming the numbers work in your favor, the third test examines the physical condition of your property. So the next test is, have you properly maintained your property? HVAC systems should be serviced annually to maintain efficiency and prevent breakdowns from happening. Okay? Roof inspections can identify hail damage before it becomes a major issue to a buyer and causes the deal to go sideways. Okay? These are just easy inspections to do. A roofer typically will come and inspect your roof for free to navigate, what kind of damage you have up there. And if they don't see enough hail spots on the home, then they'll just recommend, just maintain it properly and clean your gutters out. It'll be good. But if there's enough hail spots to where there's a claim that could be processed, it makes sense to do that in most cases so that you can get that roof replaced for your deductible, especially if you have a lower deductible on your insurance policy. On the HVAC side of things, I've seen 24-year-old furnaces and ACs actually get through inspection if they're maintained properly. And if we have a recent bill of health from an HVAC technician that's certified that says that these units are clean, safe, and at the current time they function properly. Those invoices that you can hand a buyer and show them that, hey, we just had this inspected by a professional, everything looks good, creates some trust up front so that they don't just find out at inspection that, hey, I've got a 24-year-old furnace. This thing is way past its useful life. Because guess what? The inspector is going to tell that buyer 15 years is really the max lifespan of a furnace and an AC unit. Water damage and drainage problems are amongst buyers' biggest concerns. Okay, so if you have spots on your drywall, on your ceilings, could be in your showers, okay, anywhere where water is involved, if it smells musty, mildewy, and it looks bad, you've got some dark spots, definitely get those inspected with an infrared test. Make sure you don't have a bigger issue, because a buyer's going to do that inspection anyways when they get there. It just scares anyone to know that there could be problems that are unseen, right, behind the walls, that sort of thing. Another thing is just proper maintenance stuff on your furnaces. Make sure that your filters are changed out, preferably every month with the cheapest filter. That's what HVAC techs will tell you, and change them out every single month. Okay, those big thick ones that last 12 months, not the best thing for your furnace. The furnaces die faster with those types of filters on there. So, just maintaining it properly will help your units to last longer and help build trust with buyers, because their inspectors are going to tell them the same thing when they go and visit the property. Also, maintenance records and service invoices provide buyers with lots of confidence. So if you have any warranties or any information pertaining to upgrades or repairs that you've done on things over time, those are great things to have on hand, and make sure that you're ready to leave those out on the day of the inspection on the counter. Buyers appreciate transparency. They appreciate when something was broken and it's fixed, to be able to have the paperwork to look at that, see if it was done properly with a proper professional, or if it was a DIY job, right? So if you've done things right over time, don't hesitate to show them the paperwork. Once your home systems are in order, the fourth test focuses on what buyers see first. We're talking about curb appeal. So you think about the buying experience, right? Buyers show up, usually they're following their agent right behind them. They show up to the house, and immediately buyers are thinking, could I live here? Could I see myself here in this house, right? And they may be thinking, oh, I hope it's that house, like your neighbor's house, right? And they pull up to yours and they're like, I don't know if I want to call this my home. Just based on how it looks on the outside from the curb. That's why we call it curb appeal. So those opinions form within 30 seconds of arrival for buyers. So there are some things that you can do to really enhance your curb appeal and make your home look stunning from the curb. Custom garage doors can add significant perceived value for just $1,000 more than a normal garage door most of the time. And you can find some great value in those, and it just makes the whole home look better. Front door condition and color significantly impact first impressions too. There are absolutely buyers who have always dreamed of a red front door or a yellow front door, or they like it to be more standard black or navy, something like that. But doing something that doesn't look tired is the biggest key there, and making sure that it looks like it's well kept right when you walk up. Professional landscaping and maintenance create immediate positive impressions that buyers really do care about. As they're walking up, they're commenting, especially meticulous buyers. They're looking at all those details. Some other things that are really valuable to do are exterior lighting. Some of the cool custom lights that you can get at like Restoration Hardware and Pottery Barn. Even Home Depot has some really cool ones that you can put outside on your front porch and make them look great, right? And it just, that with a custom garage door totally enhances your curb appeal, and it doesn't cost that much to do, but it makes the home so much more appealing to buyers from the outside. After buyers are impressed by your home's exterior, the fifth test ensures that they stay impressed once they're inside. We're talking about addressing odors or smells inside your home. And there's a lot of things that could go wrong here. So let's talk about it. Pet odors are amongst the top reasons why buyers reject homes immediately, because they don't want to deal with implications that involve, pet urine, throw up, anything else that could go wrong with your pets. A huge one is allergies, right? Especially it seems like more on the cat side of things than anything, but also dogs that shed a lot. You may have some smells that are sticking around from your animals, and we love them. I love pets. I love my little dog, Chipper. He's great, but we know that his area in the house, tends to bring a little bit of a smell to it. So you just have to be honest, be very honest, and ask for feedback from friends, family that will be straight with you as far as, does my home smell great, or is there anything that we can do to improve this? And, sometimes carpet replacement can completely eliminate odors while updating the appearance as well. And that's why carpet is such a valuable upgrade, where you can get a 300% return on your cost for carpet, which tends to be around $5 per square foot, but you can get about $15,000 back from doing carpet if it costs you $5. Where fresh paint also neutralizes odors and creates a clean, updated look in your home. Also, buyers want homes to smell new rather than lived in. And so it may not be a pet odor or a smoke odor, anything like that's turning people away, but it may just smell like it's a little bit older. So in those types of situations, that's when paint and flooring can be so valuable. The dated materials contribute to stale odors, even in clean homes. Buyers want to buy things that feel new. If they're spending that kind of money on a home, they want it to feel like they're buying a great investment that's going to be newer and it's going to be a fresh new experience for them. And they may be coming from an experience with more dated materials in their home or in their rental, and they want to get into something where it just feels fresh and light and bright. Once your home passes all these preparation tests, the final test ensures you're ready for what comes next. Last but not least, we've got to talk about exit strategy. Do you have one? Is it a good one? And so some of the steps to make sure that you have an exit strategy for after your home sells is, do you have a pre-approval? This shows sellers that you're serious and that you're a qualified buyer in this market if you're selling and then buying again. You want to make sure that you have a plan, a next place to live. And as soon as you're under contract in this market, that's when we can start looking at other properties. If you qualify for the buy first, sell second program and you have more than 30% equity, go see my other videos about that. But that could be a great opportunity for you if you want to go buy first, move out, get everything out of your house, all the clutter, your kids, pets, everything else, and then stage your home perfectly so that we can sell it later. That's an option. And I've got a great contact for you there. So make sure to reach out about that if I can help connect you with the right lender to introduce you to that program that would allow you to do that for a very affordable cost. But if that's not the case, if we're doing this the traditional way, we're selling first, then as soon as we're under contract, that next day we should be out looking at homes, checking that, what's available in the market and trying to find your next move and make sure that we've got an exit strategy that will help you line this up so that you don't have a limbo phase where you're in between homes. We want to avoid that so that you can only have to move once. And so there are ways to do that with post-closing occupancy agreements to help you live in your home after you sell it. We've done that several times for people. And then that allows you to have a couple days after closing where you can move everything into the new place, get situated, and have your cash in the bank so that you can purchase on the next home. And that's one thing that I see agents making mistakes on over and over again that are inexperienced is just coordinating and orchestrating double moves, right? When you're selling and purchasing at the same time, it really requires careful planning and a lot of strategy to make sure that that's done properly. Also, timing of the season and market conditions highly affect both selling and buying strategies when you're trying to do it all at the same time, or just one or just the other. And so keep that in mind. The approach and the strategy can change as we go from the busiest time of the year, February through April, to the slower time of the year, July, August. That can absolutely impact the way that we approach this. And also having financing in place prevents delays and complications. So make sure that you talk to a great lender that you know and trust. You can have confidence that that lender's not going to throw a curveball at you down the road, but they're going to address things and be a straight shooter up front to tell you all the things that you may need to do ahead of time before you even list your property to make sure that you're qualified and ready to go on the purchase side of things once you sell. These 6 tests might seem like a lot, but they're the difference between a smooth, profitable sale and a stressful, costly experience. If you're ready to put your Denver home through these 6 readiness tests, I'd love to help. I offer complimentary consultations where we'll walk through your property together, create a strategic improvement plan, and provide you with realistic market analysis on your home, all with no obligation. My contact info is in the description below. And if you want to see the massive new projects that are about to reshape Denver by 2026, make sure to watch my next video, Massive New Mega Projects Coming to Denver by 2026.